Thank you for watching the Comedy at the Creek podcast, brought to you by Country Creek Reception Hall and Beer Plug Entertainment Productions. Sponsored by Barnett Construction and Tiffany Tax Service. Today's guests are C-Dub and Heather VanGheluwe. Hey, welcome to the Comedy at the Creek podcast. Today we have C-Dub.
C-Dub.
He likes to go by C-Dub. We'll talk about that here in a few. And Heather VanGheluwe.
Galloway.
I did it. I knew I was going to do it. All right. Heather VanGheluwe.
Yep.
We got that right. I swear I cannot go 5 minutes without butchering somebody's. I shit you not. I just asked her 5 minutes ago how to pronounce her voice.
You said, I'll remember, and I said, I bet you won't.
I bet you I probably won't. I'll get it right live tonight.
Okay. If you don't, it's all right. I'll correct you then, too. I'm used to it.
For those of you who don't know, we do Comedy at the Creek podcast right here before Comedy at the Creek. And tonight we have Comedy at the Creek 9. And these are going to be two of our comics that are going to be performing with us tonight. And we're really excited to sit down and talk with both of these comics. Okay, I said I wanted to get back. Speaking of names, I wanted to get to you. I've known you for a while.
Right.
You know, we going on, about a year now we've been hanging out. And I still don't think I ever asked you where C-Dub comes from.
Well, C-Dub is actually my initials, but I don't use my last name because I've got a bunch of rooms full of high school students that would love to know what my last name is. So I stay away from that. So, Facebook, I use my middle name, and C-Dub is just my last name.
So I'm taking from the students, that's what you did for a living. You were a teacher?
Actually, I worked for years and years in medical malpractice stuff, and got sick, retired, and then decided I can't do this retirement thing. So I started doing guest spots for the Lansing schools, and so I've been in the high schools, and yeah.
Man, you probably get a lot of material from that.
Actually, I have not delved into that. I don't think I do that to the kids. I love the kids, and I'm just not going to gang up on them. So
I'm actually kind of surprised on how many substitute teachers and teachers that have come through here so far.
Yeah.
That have been comedians. There's been a judge. Right. We've had a judge come through and do comedy. Police officers, ex-police officers. Right. It's just such a huge, wide variety of people that do comedy. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. But so how, Heather? Where do you come from?
Like, where do I live? Stearling Heights.
Did you grow up in Stearling Heights?
No, I'm from Saginaw.
Okay.
And then I met my husband in college, and then we moved into his childhood home in Stearling Heights.
Moving into the childhood home.
Yeah. That's
actually, that hits close to home to me because I actually live across the street from the house that I grew up in.
Really?
My mom still lives across the street from me.
Yeah, wow.
You can imagine what it's like when your mom goes, you should buy the house across the street. And you're like, I did everything I tried to do when I grew up to get out of here, and you want me to come back?
Right.
That happens. So how long have you been doing comedy?
A year and a half.
Yeah?
Yeah. December is a year and a half, so almost.
And you're still at it, so
still
must
at
not
it,
be that
still
bad.
loving it, but still could be the honeymoon phase, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. Well, this is our first time having Heather out here, so we're excited about that. C-Dub's been out here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like an alumni.
Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite places. I tell everybody, get here.
And pat me on the back some more.
Well, but don't get a big head. Don't get a bigger head.
Yeah, me and C-Dub only see each other about, maybe 3 times a week over the past couple
like
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been out there hitting it pretty hard. So, shout out to Justin. We were out there at Mitchell's on Thursday night, so that was a good time.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff you got going out there in Stearling Heights? I know it's kind of the outskirts of Detroit, so you probably got a lot of places to play, right?
Well, are we talking about my life or comedy?
Either one.
Either
I mean,
one?
Go out and party, go out drinking with the friends.
I have a 3-year-old. So
Okay.
like I said, last night, the wedding, I stopped drinking at 9 o'clock and I'm still hungover today. So I'm full mom mode, can't party like I used to anymore. So
I hear that. I always, it always blows my mind, the range of ages of people that come through here too. You get people that have 3-year-olds, and then you got Carl,
You got me. I mean, I'm going to be 45. All my kids are all gone now. They're all moved out, got their own lives. Actually, my oldest is going to be here tonight, which kind of shocked me.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I'm coming to see you. I was like, really?
How old is he?
I don't know.
Okay.
He's the oldest. I know that.
Father of
No.
the year.
Do you know his name?
I do know his
Okay.
name. I do know his name. Him and his mom are out probably pre-drinking, pre-gaming, and out at a bar somewhere. I'm sure they'll show up.
You must be terribly proud.
Yeah, he's a good kid. But so the 3-year-old, that must give you some material to work with.
Oh, yes. I wrote all brand new stuff tonight. It's coming.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
You always hear people talk about, they're like little drunks just running around, And
Yeah, it's a lot. And I talk about it more tonight, but we're also potty training. And there was a lot of things I wasn't prepared for in my life. But, like, holding a cup so my son can pee in it and not in his bath water is not one of the things that I was prepared to do. So that's where we are now.
Yeah. Well, I know you said you had the kid. You only been, a year and a half now. So what's that like going out and doing comedy on weeknights and things like that with a little one?
It's not bad because usually I have to leave around bedtime or, after he goes to sleep. So it's really not too bad. And I have a husband who's like, great, go. I got it.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it's working out very well for me.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know it's hard, with families and stuff. I talk to people all the time, and I'm just like, yeah, I got 4 or 5 kids. I'm like, how the hell can you do that?
Yeah.
I don't have any kids in the house anymore, and for me to jump in the car or whatever and drive out to Detroit or Grand Rapids or something for like a Tuesday 5-minute set, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Doing you got a career and everything else too, so it's just like, whoa. So I can't imagine what it's like to try to get the little kid going.
Yeah, also humbling though, because like I remember my very first show I was so proud, and then he woke up at 3 a.m. with a poopy diaper. So like there immediately goes everything, like back to mom mode. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, back to real life.
Yeah.
You can go up and have fun at night, and do what you love to do, and then you got to get up and face reality and go to work every day. If only all of us could be like Dave Chappelle and just fly all over the world and make billions of dollars.
You mean you don't?
You don't?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Justin.
Justin.
Just Jason.
I'm gonna say, okay, Eli.
Yeah, I knew I would do that. I'm glad you
It's
butchered
all right.
a name
he
first.
He messed up my name.
Oh,
You're
God.
allowed.
Welcome to the Comedy at the Creek podcast Butcher edition, name butchering edition. That's all right.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
it's your turn now. No, Eli, we went out the other night. We were out in Wayland, and Eli got on stage and thought he was going to bust my balls about something and called me Justin, too. So, but I got him the other night, so that's all right. I see you, Eli.
At least I didn't mean it.
That might make it worse.
Might.
So you travel pretty far out of Stearling Heights?
The farthest was Grand Rapids.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Benton Harbor and then Grand Rapids.
Oh, Benton Harbor?
Back to back.
What's going on down in Benton Harbor?
I did a show with Adam Walsh.
Okay.
Walsh.
Shout out, Adam. I guess.
Yeah, sometimes
haven't
I
met
say
him.
Welsh and I mean Walsh.
Oh,
right?
we almost
I
see-
got
we
it.
almost
I
had a-
got it.
we almost
Did
had a
Did I do
three-peat.
the butcher?
No.
No. Yeah. So I did his show in Benton Harbor. That's the furthest I've traveled. And then I was in the Kingpin competition,
Okay.
like back to back.
How'd that work
So
out?
I made it to the semis.
Huh?
You made it to the semis.
I
yeah.
did not
Did.
because I got beat
Oh,
by
no.
him.
He's
Wow.
really kind of bitter.
I see.
I know it's only the 3rd time I brought it up. Probably the 2nd time in a podcast history.
Seems to be a recurring
Yeah.
theme.
But I will put an accent on that. You did beat me, but you did deserve it. So yeah.
That's nice of you.
Hey. Part of the reason why I wanted to have you out tonight and talk to you, have the people get to know you a little bit better. I'm getting to know you a little bit better, but I don't think these people, out here in internet land have really got the inside scoop on C-Dub yet.
I appreciate this. This is really nice. I got to tell you, this is the first time I've ever done a podcast. So,
All right.
yeah, I was asking my kids, like, what is that? And so they explained it as well as they could.
It's like radio. You know radio. It's kind of the same. You were there when it was invented. You know.
Yeah. Wow.
See, we actually just brought you on the podcast so we can bust your ass about being an older
no
guy.
Kidding, no kidding.
So, how long have you been doing comedy?
Almost exactly the same length of time as you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Really?
did you do you did a 101 class,
My
right?
101 was
Everly?
last July.
Yeah. Okay. So I think mine was in June, so maybe a month longer.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys only got 6 months on me because I'm going on about a year
Wow.
this December. So
Wow.
surprising. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, you've only been doing this for a year." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Wow, you're not even close to being good enough to be
Yeah.
make it to a year."
I get
That's
that
true.
a lot.
So, what exactly was it that? What was the spark? Why did you get into comedy?
For me, I think probably all through school and stuff, I was maybe not the funniest kid in the class, but I was one of the funnier kids. And I don't know, I've always taken an interest. I can remember this dates me a little bit. 1975, SNL's first year. I was sending stuff into them, material into them,
Wow.
and getting lots of letters back. Sorry, we don't take unsolicited stuff. But yeah, I was on a Navy ship at the time, and I'm just got free time, so I'm writing stuff up and sending it. So I've been interested in it.
So you were sending that stuff during the time you were in the Navy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the world couldn't have been in safer hands.
That's great. Well, you get the cliche. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. What's that?
Hey, I appreciate it. What'd you do in the service?
I was in navigation on a couple different ships. I
Huh?
just went out to sea. I spent all my time out to sea. So.
Oh, good deal. Yeah. That's great.
Oh, thanks.
So you didn't do any comedy while you were on the ship?
No. No. I did some comedy when I was on the ship, but none that got me any kind of positive attention. I can
No
say
standing
that.
in the feed hall or mess hall or whatever they call it, doing
No.
doing it in between meals.
No, none of that.
Try and do a little bit internal, doing it for the troops.
My comedy skills were underappreciated. I can tell you that.
Oh man. So to this day, have you ever gotten anything back from SNL?
Never.
Never, not once,
yet.
huh? Yeah.
Not yet.
Hey,
Don't
look,
give
Saturday Night Live, man. Come on, it does suck now. So
It does. They need the help.
give them a shot.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Imagine if you got a letter back. It'd have been a drastically different life, wouldn't it?
Hey, well, it probably would have been. I don't know where I would have been by now. Probably dead in a gutter, but yeah.
So how'd you get started? Are you sending letters into
Yeah,
SNL?
same thing. I was on the Navy ship, sending in letters.
I remember her.
Yeah, we were there.
Swabby VanGheluwe, they called her.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So what got you? What sparked the interest for you?
So I had quit my job. Fairy tale start to this. And my manager was like, "What's next?" And I said, "I have no idea. Like, I got this new baby at home, not sure. In some crazy dream world, I would love to be a sitcom writer."
Oh, okay.
And she said, "Well, Mark Ridley's does comedy classes." And I said, "Well, that's great, but that's not what I said. Like, I don't want that." And then I was just unemployed for a few months and bored, and I said, "Okay, let's do it." And then I did it.
Okay. So is that something that you've always had an ambition to do? Is just writing? Is that your favorite part of the process?
It's a new ambition. It started just a few years ago where I just would think of something funny and write it down and just be like a couple lines. And then I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So then signing up for the stand-up really, I was like, this is what I can do with it. And then I was thinking about, BJ Novak started as a stand-up and then became a writer. So I was like, maybe this is a great start.
Okay. So is that still kind of a plan for you? You want to maybe
I would like to
use it as a bridge to get into more of the writing process?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
So when you write your jokes, is a lot of the writing style in long form and then you just pick things out of there? Or are you an actual line by line joke writer?
Yeah, well, because I'm used to Bill, who says you're using too many words. So now nothing is long form. I basically just tell Bill my story, and he said, "Great, you're using too many words, but I see, and let's fix it." So,
okay,
that's what I got.
Now I've talked to a few people that have been through here, who have been through the process, the schooling process and the class process. And I know you two. Were you in the same classes together? Did you guys do the same Mark Ridley's class together?
I was on the Saturday class, and I think you were in the Monday class.
Yeah, we started out together, and then they split the classes up. So
Okay. I know he's been poking at me to get out there and try it. So what is your guys' experience with the class? I mean, you hear people talk about all the time, it's like, oh, it's kind of hard to teach somebody how to do this because it's so personal and it's so, subjective and certain things. Now, what did you guys get out of the class?
Well, to not use so many words, as Bill is just drills that into you. I learned like the comedy of threes. You always have the best one last. I was just talking to someone today, like I did not know there was a formula. And there's not a formula, but there is a formula.
Yeah.
And like you don't do certain things, but also there's no rules. It's like kind of weird, but
Yeah.
it's also I feel like the word class gets a little confusing because it's not like you're sitting down and you're at a lecture. He gets you up on stage immediately.
Okay.
Which was very intimidating last year when I did not
I
know
bet.
what it was. And he just said, get up on stage and let's grab the microphone and we're going to talk. And he just asks you questions about your life and he finds the funny in your life.
Okay.
So something I just realized, I recorded the very first time I was on stage in the class. And my first set, like 90% of my first set came from things that I said that first day.
All right.
And I just like wrote it in a funny way and like, worked off of it. But he just brings it out.
Fine tune with the too many words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about you? What'd you get out of that? Did it you guys have been doing it for a certain amount of time before you take the class. Does it make you go, okay, I was heading this direction, but that gives me a lot of insight onto maybe what I can do a little bit different, going forward? Did it change the way that you do your sets a little bit after that?
I think it made me want to do it more.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm taking the class again currently.
Okay.
So because I liked it so much.
Right.
That's awesome.
And you've taken it.
I've taken it twice. Bill Bouchard is the Bill that we're talking about.
Shout out, Bill.
Yeah.
Shout out
to Bill. Absolutely. He just. I was fairly used to public speaking, and so I wasn't like just a nut job when I got up the first time. But a lot of people were, and it's a scary thing. And he gets up and he makes you do it, and you keep doing it until you sort of get that fear beaten out of you. But he just makes you get up there. I like Heather, maybe worse. I tend to kind of just blather on, and you may be noticing that now.
Oh, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, but I mean, so he was always talking about economy of words, and that was great. But the best advice I ever got from Bill Bouchard was actually a few weeks ago in a separate class that he happened to substitute teach, and that was that every show is an audition, and it's 100% true.
Makes sense.
That, it doesn't matter whether it's a little pub or comedy at the Creek. You don't know who's there, but people talk. It's a small world in the comedy world.
Yeah.
So try to do a good job.
So how do you approach the writing style? Are you a long form guy, or do you just write out everything down and pick it apart? Or
I just most of my stuff is written on my phone, and it's one line or two lines. But I'm more of a storyteller.
Yeah.
I think Heather probably is a storyteller.
Yeah.
I don't do very many one-line jokes. I admire the people who can. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I've got stories enough.
Right.
But that's how I approach it, and everything I think of that's even close to to comedy material nowadays goes immediately in my phone, because 30 seconds later it's gone for good.
Yeah.
I won't get it back.
Yeah. Have you been, before you did comedy, were you a big fan of comedy? Yeah. I mean, obviously with SNL and everything, but was there anybody in general that you really saw and that really just made you say, oh my God, I want to do this?
Excuse me. Who? I don't know. Nate Bargatze before Nate was cool. They don't immediately pop to mind, but I paid attention to.
I always like to ask people that because, I've been a musician for so long and played in bands, and people are always like, what does your band sound like? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, you know what? If I ever start interviewing comics, I'm going to ask them that just because I know how much of a insane question it is.
I pay a lot more attention now to comics. I mean, and not necessarily the famous ones, the ones with the Netflix, but there's some local people that Heather and I both know Jeff Dolan. Jeff Dolan he's amazing.
Yeah,
he's just an amazing writer. I would kill too. And I'm going to be up against him in a contest here. I'm sure in a few weeks, and I don't know what to do with that. I'm thinking of like tampering with his brakes or something.
Jeff is I write everything out and I send it to Jeff. I say, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And we have like a shared Google Drive. And so he'll add notes in green, and then I change it, and we go back and forth because I love his writing, and he now knows my style so well that he can help me.
Yeah,
that's a great thing. That's what I've noticed. Like I said, I haven't been in this for too long, but I have noticed that the community of comics and just people that are into entertainment. Aside from my music crap, just the entertainment side, in theater and improv and stand-up comedy, and everybody is so just supportive of each other when it comes to this art, especially now, and it just blows my mind the amount of people that are involved in it. Like every single day I see just more and more people popping up out of the woodwork, and I'm like, I don't know if it's just because there's a wave of it right now, or I haven't been in it long enough to realize if it's just a surge going on, because everything has that peak where everybody seems to want to do it. I remember a few years ago when everybody wanted to build a motorcycle, because there was a television show where people were building choppers, and then you've seen them all over the place, and then 2 weeks later they're on the side of the road for $15. I'm just wondering if this is like, I hope it's not comedy's like peak wave.
Like
I hope it keeps going. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it that way. I mean, I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of support. But I will say, about going back to Jeff Dolan for a moment, we were blessed by the fact that he had twins, or his wife had twins like a month ago.
Yeah.
And so he's really had to kind of slow his roll a little bit in the comedy thing, which is great because it gives me a chance to catch up, So he's somebody you want to talk to at some
That's
point.
great.
He's just an amazing guy. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. What do you want to do with your comedy? What is like your ultimate goal?
To be on SNL. To
be
a
on
writer,
SNL.
right?
You still going for that SNL thing?
Yeah.
Is there just like an ultimate stage that you want to hit, or just like a, where do you want to be with comedy in the next 3 years?
Honestly, I think I'm too old to. I'm not going to get a Netflix contract. That's probably not going to happen. And if it happened, I'd just hand it over to you and say, sign here.
Let this guy fuck it up.
Yeah. I don't really know. I'm having fun with it, and I meet a lot of people. I'm in a position, just because of age and whatnot, to help some people, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I'd like to produce some shows or help produce some shows, and
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've heard it from a million people, and I've said it myself. You're one of the most generous people I've ever met.
I am so lucky that I met Carl. And I tell a lot of people that. To have you, Jeff, and Shilpa all in my class, to meet everybody like that, right? My first time in comedy. I'm so lucky.
Another Shilpa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's up, Shiplap?
Yeah.
I've shouted her out on the podcast before. She's been out here. She's awesome. We miss her.
Yeah, I miss her.
I wish she'd come back here. Come back and visit us here pretty soon. So we talked a little bit earlier about your ambitions and what direction you want to go. So what would be your ultimate end point? Where do you just want to say I did it?
I don't think that I have an end. Right now, I'm still very go with the flow.
Yeah.
I did set goals for 2023 that I've already surpassed, and
Good.
I've just today made my goals for next year. So we'll see. Do you want to know them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my goals for this year were to submit to at least one festival, and I submitted to 3.
Okay.
Have at least 12 paid shows once a month, and I stopped counting after 12, so I'm already over 12. And then to do comedy out of state, and I did comedy in Canada.
Wow.
So I hit all of my goals, and my goals for next year are like opposite. Like I want to be an opener at Mark Ridley's, preferably, or somewhere at One Night Stand, somewhere that I can be an opener, and then I would like to headline. Like
All
not
right.
at those places because I'm not there yet. But headline
Oh, I
somewhere,
hear you. I
know?
hear you. Trust me, I hear you. But that's a year and a half. Yeah, that's a
Right.
hell of a goal set to
Right.
have. And if for what you've done over a year and a half, it's good job.
Thank
That's why I
you.
told you earlier. You were like, I got some new stuff, and I went, good job.
Yeah.
And you looked at me kind of funny, and I was like, I always tell people that ahead of time because it's like, if you get that good job before you even start it,
Yeah.
then sometimes that just makes you think you're like, all right, well,
I can do it.
I can do this. Yeah, if you were telling me good job before I even started, it even hurt me.
Yeah.
So
It is.
That's
I
great.
think this set is going to be easier for me than my first one because the first half is all about my husband. The second half is all about my son.
yeah,
So it's real life stories that I'm not going to forget because they actually happened to me.
yeah.
Like with a little comedic additions, but like I think this is going to go well tonight. I'm
Oh,
really
yeah.
excited.
Our fans here at Comedy of the Creek, I mean, they're so fun. I mean, we'd never have any problem with any of these people that come in here. They like to laugh. They like to have a good time. Everybody around Diamonddale and around Lansing area, they work their asses off all week, and they just want to come and have a few drinks and sit and have a few laughs. So I try to make it cheap
Yeah.
so people don't have to spend, it's go to the movies nowadays, for God's sakes. It's like
Yeah.
fucking $80 for a family to go to the movies. You might as well take them to a theme park,
Yeah. I see the trailer and I say I'll wait for it to come out on streaming. It'll come out somewhere.
No doubt. So what you got good? What you said you got a bunch of stuff coming up. What you got doing coming up?
Tuesday, I'm hosting Mark Ridley's my showcase, it's my second time hosting, but the first time I hosted, there was like 5 people in the audience, and so it wasn't great because
Well.
how do you host to 5 people? It was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But Tuesday's like gonna be a lot of people, and I'm already like I can feel my energy, like very
Yeah.
excited to do it. I don't know. And then I don't have anything booked in December, and I have one booked in January already, but I can't tell you any information because I don't know. But I know that it's booked.
Well, you're moving along.
Yeah.
Just keep moving forward.
Mhm.
I always tell people about them little small crowds is like, hey, that's 5 more people that weren't there before.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
and you hear all these big guys, Joe Rogan and all those guys talking about small crowds like that. Like those are the hard people. If you can get just one of a small crowd like that, that's like actually a big thing. So
Yeah, and I do feel like it's so weird to say that I'm more comfortable in front of a bigger crowd. And I feel like a lot of comedians are that way, which is just like so opposite of what you would think. You would
Yeah.
think it would be easier with less faces staring at you, but it is not. I don't like
it's,
it.
yeah, it's rough, especially, with comedy because everything gets, when people start laughing, you get that rumble. But when there's those few people in the crowd and then you just hear that,
They just like silently
Yeah.
chuckle.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
just like, somebody come
Those can be
drag me off.
there's some bad nights.
Yeah.
There can be some bad nights.
Is Mark Ridley's your favorite?
yeah.
That's your favorite place?
Yeah.
I haven't had to get out there yet. I got to get out there. I see it. I try to keep track of everybody online and stalk everybody's Facebook and see, who's out doing what and where and stuff. But I want to get out there, and check that place out. It looks really good. Every single person that comes through here, Mark Ridley's, Mark Ridley's, Mark Ridley. So I want to get out there. And I think it's the comedians that are here tonight on my index cards. I think there's like 8 of them out of 10 where I'm going to be going, this person has been at Mark Ridley's and that. So, but yeah, what about your favorite? What's your favorite place to go hang
I
out?
have 3 favorites. I don't have a favorite. I
Okay.
have 3 favorites. So don't get a big head again.
Oh, here.
Definitely here. My 3 are Ridley's. Ridley's is like home to me. That's
Yeah.
home court. Ridley's is awesome. This place is awesome. And the Comedy Project in Grand Rapids, which if you guys haven't been, so need to go. It's
Okay.
just a great
You know
place.
what? I also love Mark Bonto's rooms.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He always has them packed. It's a lot of fun there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some fun with Mark Bonto. Shout out Mark Bonto. I give a lot of shout outs here. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, Mark Bonto, that guy is, whew. I don't know if he drinks a lot of coffee or drinks a lot of energy
I love
drinks
it.
or
I love it.
what, but he's just hilarious. That guy is bouncing off the walls. It's great.
Right.
But what about you? You being a younger comedian, what's some of the stuff that you see now that you really like and inspires you? Some of the comedians.
My favorite number one is Tig Notaro.
Okay.
Like I'm not normally a dry humor kind of person, but her delivery is just so dry, and then she just gets you with the punchline that it like comes out of left field, like you were not anticipating that. And and I liked her before, and then I saw her live, and it like gave me a whole new respect for her, and like so I will watch anything that she does.
Yeah.
I listen to her podcasts. I'm all about Tig.
Well, all I got to say about Tig is you better watch out for her because a year and a half already into this, man, she might be coming
we can
after your
collab.
job.
I'm not coming for her. We can collab.
There's a bucket list thing, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Get out there and open for Tig.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't even say it.
There we go. Open for Tig,
Okay.
or you can feature for Tig at Mark
Okay.
Ridley's.
I'll do that. I'm in. Tig, call me. I'm in.
Sign up right now. No doubt. Well, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys if you wanna book you? Say if Tig wants to book you, how can you get a hold of Heather?
I am on Instagram at Heather VanGheluwe, which is a
Van
lot
Giggles?
easier to say
Um,
than VanGheluwe.
I think you ought to adopt that.
Yeah, stage name.
That way, yeah, people
Jeff
don't have
said
to
the
think
same
about
thing. Jeff said the same thing.
it. Machikaro, I know you have a little bit of a presence. Online?
A little. C-Dubs Bud, or well, on Instagram, C-Dubs Buds. And that's just Buds referring to all my friends. And and then
Obviously.
on Facebook, it would be C-Dub Comedy.
I think C-Dub likes living in Michigan.
I do like living in Michigan.
He shares a lot of his
Shout
friends
out to
with me.
Michigan. Yeah. I try to be a sharer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, hey, you're living in the perfect spot for it. You
Absolutely.
can't go wrong.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out and sitting down with me for a few minutes and getting to know you guys a little bit better and showing the Comedy at the Creek fans who you guys are. And for those of you that aren't here tonight and aren't going to see them live, hey,
Missing
tough
out.
shit.
Yeah.
You got to think about that. So hit them up on their social medias and check out where they're going to be here soon. And we're going to have a really good time tonight. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Heather
Thank you.
VanGheluwe.
Nope. Galloway.
Galloway. I was closer
Yeah,
that
was
time.
closer.
Heather VanGheluwe and
Yes.
C-Dub. All right, guys. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
You have a good night.